Monday. Welcome back to my channel and to another relaxing-ish true crime session. I'm so glad that you're here with me tonight. In this video, I will be covering 6 odd disappearance cases from all over the place. And in the background, to create further relaxing and soothing sounds, I will be playing Solitaire and also a little bit of coloring. If this combination of sounds and visuals help you, please consider subscribing to my channel, liking the video, and leaving a little or long comment before you fall asleep. Thank you. Also, my YouTube channel isn't monetized, so if you'd like to support more content like this, please check out my Patreon at patreon.com/WhittelerASMR. Your contributions there help me keep these videos coming. Alright, now let's settle in. I will start with the case of Christopher Kerze, Kerze. Imagine it's a typical spring day in Eagan, Minnesota, back in 1990. Christopher Matthew Kerze is 17 years old, a bright kid from a close-knit family. His parents, Jim and Lonnie, Loni, and perhaps siblings, though details on that are sparse. He's tall, about 5'11", with a normal teenage life ahead of him. But on April 20th, 1990, something shifts. That morning, Christopher tells his parents he's not feeling well and stays home from school. They head out for the day, trusting him as always. When they return, the family van is gone, and there's a note waiting. The note reads that something important came up and that he'll be back by 6 p.m. unless he gets lost. The word lost is underlined twice, which strikes them as odd, but not alarming at first. So, they wait. But he doesn't come back. The next day, April 21st, a letter arrives, postmarked from Duluth, Duluth, about 2 hours north. In it, Christopher confesses he lied about being sick. He's heading somewhere, even he doesn't know, and he writes that he intends to end his life. He's sorry for the pain. He had taken the families O.F. Musberg and son's 20-gauge shotgun with him, but no ammunition. The van turns up abandoned near Grand Rapids, Minnesota on April 22nd. No signs of struggle, just left there in the woods. Then things even get stranger. About a week later, the family starts getting these eerie phone calls. There's noise on the line, but a party in the background, music, voices. But when they speak, the caller hangs up. This happens to Christopher's parents, his neighbor, and his best friend. Lonnie, his mother, is convinced it's her son, trying to reach out. They'd never had calls like this before. They continue for 6 months, then stop cold. Searches kick off immediately. Posters, woods getting combed through, but nothing. In 2004, an anonymous letter arrives at the Eagan Police Department saying to stop looking, that Christopher will return when he's ready. But that one is dismissed as a hoax, the letter. By 2016, after the Jacob Wetterling case resolves nearby, interests about this other case renews. New age progress photos and more interviews. As of 2025, Detective Angela Casey says they are committed with lots of searches done, but they have not had any breakthroughs. Alright, that's crazy. Let's get to the theories. The letter points strongly to SUICIDE. Police leaned that way early on, speculating that he might have discarded the gun somewhere after, But why nobody? After all these years, how did they not find his body? Some people think that he simply ran away. Maybe depression or something unspoken that his family didn't know about pushed him to start over. But what at only 17? And those calls were just him checking in with the family and friends without words. But of course, foul play isn't ruled out. The underlined lost, the hoax letter, the calls could also hint at abduction or coercion. But for none of the above, any evidence have been found. His parents held out hope that he was alive for years, But the case stays open as endangered missing. It's one of those cases where the pieces almost fit, but not quite. Case 2. The disappearance of Lars Mittank. Larsmittank. Now shifting to a sunny vacation in a place in Bulgaria, 2014. Lars Joachim Mittank is 28, from Germany. He's a regular guy working at a power plant. He has a girlfriend and very close ties with his family. He heads to Golden Sands Resort with 5 friends on June 30th, 2014 for his first trip ever abroad. They swim, play football, hit the clubs, and he's just relaxed. Though he's not eating much, just small salads or some soup, I assume according to his friends. Things turn around on July 6. They went on June 30th, so this is about a week into their trip or travel. The night before they are heading back home, they are at a bar. Lars, who was a Werder Bremen fan, argues with some Bayern Munich supporters, which are German football clubs. So they're arguing and he splits from his group after that. And he just vanishes into the night. The next morning though, he shows up beaten. His jaw hurts and his eardrum was ruptured. He says 4 men hired by the bar group attacked him. A doctor prescribes a drug to him and advises that he shouldn't fly because of his ruptured eardrum. His friends offer to stay, but he insists that they go and that he will catch up. He checks into Hotel Color in Varna, near the airport. That evening, paranoia sets in. Then, as he's being paranoid, he calls his mother, Sandra, and whispers to her that people are trying to kill him or that people are trying to rob him and that they should cancel all of his cards. Also, hotel CCTV catches him pacing halls, peeking out windows, hiding in the elevator. At 1 a.m., he leaves for an hour, and we don't know where he went. But he returns. Morning of July 8th. Another call. And he tells his mom again that his pursuers are closer. is another doctor, Kostov, who finds him nervous, but says the okay, that he's fit to fly. But Lars doubts the meds that the doctor's giving him, which is just for his ears. Then a construction worker enters, and Lars starts to tremble and yells, "I don't want to die here. I have to get out." And he bolts out of there, leaving his wallet, phone, passport, luggage, everything behind. Footage shows him jogging out of the airport, climbing a fence, sprinting into a meadow toward the forest. And that is the last trace of him. So they start searching for him. Private investigator checks the hospitals. Nothing. Lars had hunting skills, but summer heat makes long survival doubtful. There were some sightings of him, alleged sightings. A trucker in Varna in 2015 and another in Germany 2019. All unconfirmed. And as of today, 2025, no updates, and he has been missing for 11 years. What a crazy one. Those poor friends must have felt so guilty about leaving him there. Now, it's time to look at the theories, which were a lot in this case, as you can imagine. The first one, which makes the most sense, would be psychosis. They say that he might have had undiagnosed mental issues, though his mom says he had no history of it. Or maybe that fight that he had the other night gave him some brain damage that caused him paranoia. Or maybe it was the side effects of the drug cefprozil, CEFPROZIL, which was prescribed to him for his ruptured ear by the first doctor. But actually it is confirmed that he never filled the prescription. Drugs forced on him during the fight, or that he's... Yeah, that's also a good one. What did he do for that hour that he went out? Did he run in with some very questionable people? Again, he's in a foreign country. He's there as a tourist. But if he just got into contact with some horrible people, and I don't think it's just a coincidence that it happens after he has a fight with some people and gets beaten up. So these two are definitely connected, right? So maybe they forced him some drugs, or just a beating did something wrong in his brain. Some say that the beating wasn't even random, and that he was specifically targeted. Why? We don't know. Who was Lars? Why would they target him specifically? Some say organ harvesting or robbery gone wrong. But the fact that nothing ever was found of him. His mom thinks that he's still alive. Maybe he can't remember anything from the brain damage. Wandering in a foreign country for all these years, that would be crazy. The video's gone viral, over 16 million views, making him the most famous missing person on YouTube. And I will put that on screen here. But unfortunately again, he's on this list, so no answer yet. Case 3. The disappearance of Danielle, Imbo, and Richard Petrone. Petrone. So is it Petrone? And Imbo, Imbo. It is time that we head to Philadelphia, February 2005. Danielle Imbo, 34, and Richard Petrone Jr., 35, are a couple navigating life post-breakup, but they're still close. Both of them have kids from prior relationships. Danielle has a son, Richard has a daughter, and they are dedicated parents. On the 19th, they meet friends at Albine's bar on South Street for drinks. February 19th, 2005. They meet at a bar. They meet friends at a bar. Sorry, I literally had a stroke there. It's around 11:30 to 11:45 p.m. They say goodbyes and walk towards Richard's black 2001 Dodge Dakota truck that was parked nearby. And that's just it. They vanish. Truck and all. No calls, no bank activity, and no sightings. Friends report them missing the next day when they don't show for plans quickly. It's unusual, obviously, for two adults and a vehicle to disappear in a busy area. Searches scour the Delaware River, thinking maybe an accident, but sonar and divers find nothing. No toll cams or traffic footage even catches the truck. There's a $50,000 reward still standing. By 2025, it's been 20 years. The FBI releases podcasts that ask for help, urging tips, but still very unsolved. Families hold vigils, convinced it's not voluntary. They wouldn't leave their kids. Now let's get to the theory. As always, foul play is at the top of the list. some whisper mob ties via Richard's family, but relatives denied. Was it an accident? Did they drive off the bridge? But again, no wreckage. Did they run away together? Again, very unlikely they were together and they broke up. There was no need to run away, given their roots, and that there were no financial moves, and that the car was never seen anywhere. I don't think they ran away. Was it a murder? SUICID? But again, no signs of such issues. It's the cleanest vanish in a crowded city, leaving everyone stumped. Now what would be craziest theory? I'm sure there are some people speculating aliens. Cause how in the world these two people vanish with their car and that car is never seen on any road or camera? That is just crazy. What do you guys think? What could be the possibility? They immediately got kidnapped, walk into their car, and then the car got stolen. But why would any thief murder two adults and go all that way to make them disappear just to get a car? I don't know, this seems like a crazy one for sure. Case 4. The disappearance of Ben McDaniel. Now going down to Florida. 5 years later from the other one, now 2010. Ben McDaniel, 30, from Tennessee, is rebuilding after tough times. He had a divorce, he had a failed business, 50K in tax debt, and his brother Paul's overdose in 2008 that he found, and he tried CPR on, but it wasn't useful. So he's been having a rough time. His parents fund a sabbatical at their Santa Rosa beach house, and he is optimistic. He's trying to build his life after all of those crazy things that happened to him. He's taking dive instructor certification. Ben's an experienced scuba diver since he was 15, but not cave certified. He frequents Vortex Spring, which is a deep cavern site. On August 18, 2010, he dives during the daytime. Then, evening around 7:30 p.m. So after he's been missing for 2 days, on August 20th, police are called. His wallet is found. His phone is in there. There is the cave maps inside, and his poor dog was at home, very hungry after the 2 days that he's been missing. Searches start. 16 expert divers spent 36 days in the cave, but they found no body, not even any disturbance. 3 tanks normal air. No deep mix. They do land searches, water tests, but there's no signs of decomposition around that place. Reward up to $30,000 sparks controversy because one diver dies searching in 2012. He was declared dead in 2013, and since now, to this day, 2025, there has been no updates. So the first obvious theory is that he drowned in an unmapped spot of the cave, and that is what the parents believe. Staged escape from troubles, they think. Some divers think so, that since the tanks were placed there in an odd way, the divers think that he just escaped. Maybe went somewhere else, start a new life to get away from death. There's also, as always, foul play. That he was murdered on land and his body was hidden. Private investigators uncover shady associates in the place, the vortex place. His size makes deep cave navigation unlikely without marks. So they're saying it's even unlikely that he was in those caves. So what happened to them? To him? Case 5. The disappearance of Suzy Lamplugh. Lamplugh. Now we are leaving USA, going to UK. Over in London, 1986. Suzy, 25, was an estate agent, blonde, outgoing, recently back from QE2 beautician work. She lives in Putney with a flatmate. She has a stockbroker boyfriend, but mentions a scary new guy from Bristol. Days before, red roses arrive anonymously at her workplace. Her pop handbag contents go missing. On July 28, 86, diary notes says 12:45 p.m. with Mr. Kipper, Kipper, at 37 Sherilyn Road. She's been outside with a suited man, 25 to 30 years old. Dark hair, possibly broken nose. They were seen leaving together, maybe arguing. Then they had champagne in hand. Witnesses spot them in a car later, and her white Ford Fiesta Vesta was seen later on Stevenage Road. It was unlocked. Her purse was inside, and the seat was pushed back like someone taller than her had drove it. There were some sightings, and they said that they were seen arguing while driving, struggling in a black left-hand drive BMW, and their horn was blaring. There was a Sarah with a message, the fake cop asking for her diary. So who was Sarah, pretending to be a cop, asking to get their diary? She was declared dead in 1993. They searched barracks, fields, canals, but no body was ever found. There were some reinvestigations in 2000 and DNA links to suspect's car. Suspect John Cannon, C-A-N-N-A-N. He was released on July 25th, and he was the same guy with the nickname Kipper, and he did have a BMW, and he was also a convicted RAPI-ST and a murderer. Did she stalk her? He told inmates that he did it, but when asked by authorities, he denied. He died last year in 2024 with no confession. So there's a young woman who probably meets a new strange guy, as she's seen leaving pub arguing with him. They are seen in the car, and then she vanishes and leaves her things behind. So yeah, I assume it was this John Cannon guy, or at least he would have known where she went that night. So the theories are that he was abducted and murdered by John Cannon. He fits everything and the patterns, even though other possible suspects were ruled out, and he was the only one remaining. Some early speculation on her lifestyle were later debunked as victim blaming. Well, yeah, no matter what her lifestyle was or how she came to meet this man, it doesn't take away from the fact that he probably kidnapped and murdered her and was never convicted for her. But at least I hope that he died in prison, since he was already convicted of other murders. So was John Cannon a serial killer? Last case 6. The disappearance of the Jamison family. Going back to the United States, this time to the state of Oklahoma, year 2009. Bobby Jamison was 44, Sherilyn 40, and their daughter Madyson, 6. They were a family with their own quirks. They were paranoid about spirits. Bobby, the father, writes to a pastor about demons in their home. They are suing Bobby's dad over threats. So not a very peaceful family. On October 8 of 2009, they drive to how do you say that? Sansbois mountains to view the land. Security cam shows them packing in a trance-like state, like zombie walking back and forth. There was a last photo of Madyson, 6, looking scared and upward. Later, October 16, a week later, their truck found abandoned on dirt road. Their dog starving inside. $32,000 in cash. IDs, phones, coats, odd for the cool weather they were in, and no signs of struggle. How odd is that? So it seems that they were prepping for something to run away maybe. What happened to them after they got into those woods? I have no clue. 4 years later, in November of 2013, there were bodies discovered. Skeletons 3 miles away. Their cause undetermined, possibly due to exposure. What are your theories on this case? So it seems they had some sort of religious paranoia, maybe psychosis. Maybe they believed their family had been put a curse on. And maybe the only way they thought they could get away from it was to pack up and go into those mountains. But they weren't in their right state of mind and got, stuck, lost, and lost their lives due to exposure. Maybe. What are some other theories? Maybe murder, drug deal gone bad. Maybe that's why the dad was crazy. Maybe he was on drugs. Were they a part of a cult? Did family members know about these things going on? Was this a suicide pact that was caused by their paranoia? Did they get lost in the woods, given out to hypothermia? There are some paranormal whispers which have no grounds, of course. But could it be that they were actually getting hunted down by some sort of an entity, maybe aliens? I don't know. But again, those skeletons that were found were never confirmed to be them, because this case remains a missing case. So do you guys think that mental health crisis led them to this end, or that something very much darker could be at hand. All these questions remain, maybe never to be answered. Alright, you guys, that's our journey through these 6 enigmas, each one leaving more questions than answers. Thank you for joining me. I hope it was relaxing to listen to, but yet thought-provoking. If you enjoyed, like, subscribe, and consider supporting